Welcome back to the channel. Here we are back in spring and it's time to get into our entrance once again. If you recall, last year we were working on this entrance, did some retaining walls, the fence behind me, worked on all the different elements of this entrance, and it was quite extensive. It took the entire summer last year. So it's the first week of April and it's time to get into the other elements of irrigation, painting the fence, putting in the pavers around the base on the back side of the retaining wall along the driveway going up. So there's quite a bit of activity that's going to go on here, inclusive of putting in a willow and planting grass. So in April it's difficult, right? Because you have to, you're eager to get in there, put the seed down and get to work there. It's not necessarily the best time. The nights get about 30 degrees, so you need that ground to be in that mid 50s, as I've researched, and it doesn't really get there until May here. Having said that, everything's greening up beautifully on the property. It's starting to come in. We don't have blooms on the cherry trees yet, but it's soon to be. So the first step I'm going to have to do is just a basic cleanup here. Obviously the willow here drops all of its leaves. It's up against. I can't work with that, so I got to blow that all out of the way, rake it all up, get it taken care of. And then I have some winter weeds that have grown in the dirt over here. I got to spray that stuff up. And they come along and start digging my trenches for the 2 irrigation lines. I'm going to go ahead and put those in right now. Even going to put in a border. So we're going to get all that activity done today, and then hopefully get on to at least painting some portion of this fence before I have to start putting pavers in, so I don't have to put drop cloths and all that around it. I'm going to still have to protect the fence, but I don't have to do the pavers. That would be great. So with that, I'm just going to get into it. Okay, it's interesting to solve for the fall cleanup before you can move forward, but that's what happens up here. You always got a little bit more of a project than you started off with in your head. These weeds right here, be amazed, they're only about this big right now, but they get this big when we get to about late spring, early summer. So I'm going to spray and kill them right now so they don't get any bigger. And actually, you can't kill them when they get bigger. It's just basically you got to root them up, or you got to bring out what I call the nuclear bomb, and you kill everything around it. So it kind of defeats the purpose. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and spray up real quick. Now this isn't Roundup. There's something else in here, and it does dry up after contact. And it solves the problem. It kills everything under the sun. So this irrigation hose here that's coming down from the lighthouse above is going to go ahead and split into 2 directions, one along the fence here and one along the driveway. So I'm going to go ahead and put those out today. I'm going to dig the trenches, obviously a little labor of love, but the ground should be soft. I'm also going with rainbirds, which have a 15-foot radius across them, and I'm going to go ahead and put those in every 7.5 feet. So obviously they have the overlap of each other. So those will run on both directions here. And so let's get these trenches dug. It's going to be the less fun part of this journey, but it has to be done. I'm also going to put an edge band along the edge here so that I can kind of separate the difference between the rock and the dirt here. I was going to put in pavers, but to be honest, we have a significant amount of people that do U-turns in our driveway because it's a large mouth. And you know, frankly, you can see here, if I'm pointing it out correctly, and they just basically run over the dirt area. So I'm going to go ahead and come inside of that. Hopefully when it's all green, people respect it and I don't have any problems. But yeah, so right now I'm going to go ahead and start digging some trenches. Well, I'm really fortunate that I don't have to go down far. I will be building up the road and this area up probably about another 3 to 4 inches, you know, at least around the turn here. So it's a good thing because I'm telling you, it's trying to dig down. So I'm going to go ahead and now do the run along here. Make sure that I've got that going. It's about 44 feet this way, so I'm thinking this is about more like 48 to 50. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and start doing the irrigation work and getting that all in, and then setting the border to go along the driveway. Okay, I've gotten to work on putting together the T that's going to go ahead and split into the 2 lines. Once I get these all in here, I'm going to go ahead and start measuring out and make sure that I have my connections for the rainbirds. One of the things I do is when it's not under pressure, I only use 1 clamp. I mean, these things are god awful expensive. I think it's like $1 to $1.25 per, depending of course on the size. So, you know, it's not under pressure. The water just goes out through the heads, and when the thing's over, you know, when the system turns off, it's not a big deal if it drips out. However, if it's under pressure, you definitely need 2. This
what will that do for you?
You'll see. So the single 2 tricks to this trade is 1, have a torch, and 2, never forget to put your clamps on before you put the connection in. Okay, so I have the line in right now. I have all 6 heads on this side, and I originally thought of putting a 7th one on this side, but I started forgetting about the whole idea that, you know, I only have so many gallons per minute being pumped up to the top, and I just had a freeze in the brain right there. So what I'm going to do now is I pulled it back 1, not a big deal. The math works out to 20 gallons per minute when I go to bring it all around. Plus, each one of these heads, particularly the large ones, are going to be reduced in gallons because I'm going to crank them down. Because again, I don't need to shoot out as far here. I don't need to shoot it out 40 feet, so I'm going to crank it down and just have it running 20 feet. So it'll bring the gallons per minute down. I'll get underneath my 20 gallons per minute threshold. So now I'm ready to put in the border. And I'm gonna go ahead and go get my mom real quick because I need her to help me out with this. Just keep it straight while I'm nailing it all in. And so we're gonna keep working on this thing. I think I'll be able to get all the heads in on that side today. Get it all closed up. I'm not gonna be able to get to painting, but yeah, at least then all the ground will be closed up, and I'll try to hit the painting tomorrow. The weather's still participating like it is today. These are the coolest thing ever. You just wrap it around this end around the pipe, grind it in, twist it in, and yeah, you've got yourself water live. So yesterday went really well. I actually met my goal, which often isn't the case because I put too much of a goal out there to go get to, but that's that's what pushes success. So I'm going to go ahead. I have the line down here and the line around here for the irrigation. Put the border in with my mom yesterday. Everything turned out really tight there, nice. It's lined into the pavers coming around the corner. Today I'm going to go ahead and get into the painting. It's a little cold right now. We're only about 40 degrees, so I'm going to do some repair work on the east side. We have a good situation set up there where I've actually got a valve that will turn off the line, so when I can turn on the zone and turn off the line and run a hose. So I got to set that situation up, cut back a drain pipe and get to work there. So I'm going to do that first, and then come back over to here and start painting, because I want to get all these posts painted before I start working on the pavers. So, obviously you don't have to worry about it dripping all over it. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump onto the east side and get going. Shit. So I learned most of my irrigation skills down in Southern California. Of course, it was in the early 90s, and you dealt with just PVC piping and stuff. And in fact, The first part of the work I did up here, I did with PVC as well around my parents' house. Put it down about 2 feet into the ground. This stuff here is a lot better to work with. It's just getting familiar with it and working with it is so much easier, especially when it comes to putting in the heads. As you saw with the orange guys there, they just twist right in and lock in and you got yourself water. So yeah, I think this is so much better. So what I'm going to do is put these on here temporarily out on both directions so that I can get the box set. Once the box set, this will be set up for success when I come to do the east side. These things never end up being level, but you like to start off that way. So I'm temporarily set up, so it's great. I got my hose going out this way, that way. Got my terminal box, so I'm ready to go. Looking good. So I'm going to go ahead. I think we've heated up enough and start my painting. So on to the next. I'm going to go ahead and put 2 coats on each one of them. And hopefully all these little marks here from the PT is, going to go ahead and absorb in. And by the second time, I'll be able to cover those holes up. I was expecting the holes obviously to be somewhat visible, but not really that big of a deal given that you're going to be, driving by it or seeing it from a distance. So yeah, and then of course, like I said, the balance of these will be spray painted, which of course those holes will go away. Okay, I accomplished the goal of getting all the fencing painted up to the point of what I wanted to. The east side still has about 15 left to go, but that's not a part of this weekend. So yeah, I think we're in a good place. Double painted, double coated, and made sure that I got inside the grooves of the pressure treatment. So yeah, there's a little bit of a, where the boards marry in the back around the metal, a little bit of a seam gap on some of the boards, whether it be what it is. So I'm going to come back and hit a little bead of caulking down it. It'll go away. It'll look great. So yeah, I think the project has really came out good this weekend. Got what I wanted accomplished, and that always feels good. So until next time, which is hopefully next weekend, I'll get back out here if the weather permits and get that east side going and close out these 2 turnabouts until I get the dirt in here and the grass going. See you next time.